right, so we're about to build the actual calculator. I have a suggestion. At this stage, probably it's a good idea to freeze or pause the recording so you can actually duplicate this code and see if you achieve the same results that we've achieved so far. Okay, so that would be a good starting point, and then from there, as I add more features, you're going to follow along and add these features as well. So take your time as you go through this lesson. All right, so now let's handle the operation for addition. So we're going to create a separate function just for addition. It's just a job. It's a process. It's an area that will focus just on that without diluting the rest of our program. So it needs to be in a function. So we're going to put it right above the menu. Okay? As long as we define our functions before we call them, we're good to go. So we're going to call this one def addition. And in it, it's going to be self-contained. It will have its own variables. So it will ask the user to enter num1, num2, or the first number, the second number, adds them up, and displays the results. So it will do everything right here. We'll do a variation with subtraction. Okay, so it's up to you how you want to design this. So at this stage, this function will not return anything. That's what I mean by self-contained. That means it will do everything right there within the function. So maybe num1 equals, and then we're going to do a float. We're going to typecast to a float, and then in input function, we're going to ask the user to enter a number. So this way, they can enter a float number if they want to. They can enter something that looks like an integer, but it will be converted to a float, which is a real number. Okay? So num2 equals float, and we're going to ask here, using the input function again, to enter the next number. Okay, so now we're going to add these two numbers using the plus operator. That is part of the objective of this lesson, to actually do some of these arithmetic operations. So for this lesson, we're going to focus on the plus and minus, or addition and subtraction. And then we're going to add more features to this program, do multiplication, division, and so on. So let's go ahead and do this one. Result equals num1 plus num2. And then we're going to display the result. Again, this function is self-contained, so it will have its own inputs and its own outputs. So print. And we could say, we could actually do something like this. Display num1, display the plus sign, then display num2, comma, and then display equals, comma, and then display result. Okay? So this function, we haven't called it yet, but it's defined, it's ready to go, it's ready to be used. So when do we use it? Right here, if you picked option 1, which is from the menu, you intended to do addition. So maybe right under this print statement, or you can actually remove that print statement and call addition right here. So we're going to call addition anyway under it. And the addition op will become just simply a heading. So this is where the function call happens. So we're going to call it right here. If we picked 1, go ahead and call addition. Let's see how this works. All right, so we're going to pick addition, 1. And notice we have addition op, so we have some sort of a heading telling us what we're supposed to be doing, or what is expected from us. So we're going to enter 2.3, and we're going to enter another number, 8.1. And notice the result, 2.3 plus 8.1 equal 10.399999. Obviously, we need to round that up. When that was done, which means the function that was here completed, we're back in main, and then we're finding ourselves going back through the loop, since we did not pick 10 or any other value. We picked 1. which means, hey, maybe you want to do another operation. I don't. I'm going to type 10 right now, and it kicks me out. So now let's go ahead and fix result where we're going to round it up to 2 decimal points. So I can reassign result to itself. Result equals the previous result. And now remember what we've done with this before. We rounded it up to 2 decimal points. So you have all these features here that you could use to round or set up the precision to what you want. And let's see here. So round, here you go. We're going to round it to 2 decimal points. Okay, now let's see how this behaves. Let's do it again. We're going to pick addition. Let's pick the same numbers, 2.3. And I believe I picked 8.1. It doesn't matter. Or even 8.23. And as you can see here, this is rounded up to 2 decimal points. Let's do it again. So enter your numerical choice. We're going to pick 1. And let's do 1.1 and 2.1. So we get to see again that at minimum, it would round it up. And in this case, at 3.3. So we're not getting that extreme, what do you call it, rounding that we had previous to this. Okay, so now let's go ahead and do subtraction. So 10 to get out. And we're going to do now a function for subtraction. So we're going to do it right here. And maybe subtraction, I would like to print the result back in main. We could do that. So it's going to look pretty much very similar to this, except we're going to return the result. So let me just copy here. I'm cheating to save on time. And we're going to call this one, notice you can't have addition twice. We're going to call this one subtraction. Okay? And the operation, which is the core of this process, is to do a subtraction. So here we are. Now what we're going to do is simply return result. We're not going to print it. So this function is no longer self-contained. It is tied up to main, so it has to return some sort of a result. So in other words, let's go ahead and do the subtraction. So if we're going to have to do the subtraction, maybe we need a result, a local result here, equals subtraction. The calling of the subtractions. Notice the difference between addition and subtraction. Obviously, I could have designed it the same way as addition, as it's fully self-contained. But since this is an exercise, I'm showing you 2 different ways to handle this. So what if the function returned a value? Great. That means you are supposed to be handling result from where you called it, where you called subtraction, which is in main. So in this case, print result of the subtraction equals, you could do something like this, result. Now let's see how this works. And we're going to do a subtraction, 2. And we are in the subtraction operation. We're going to enter a 2 and a 6.7. And there you have it. It's a negative 4.7. Okay? So the next lesson, what we're going to do is add more features. We're going to add to the menu multiplication, division. We're going to raise something, square it if needs be, or to any exponent we want. We're going to do modulus, maybe with division as well, so that would be fun to look at. So again, we're going to add more to the list of menu, and we have up to 9 items we can add. We already have 2 used up. And here, what we're going to do is add more functions to reflect the additional features the calculator will have. So let's have 10 to exit. And I will see you for the next lesson with more features for the calculator.